wabarakatuh. Welcome to the speaking practice group. Good morning, everyone. Before we start the meeting, I want to tell you about the speaking practice group. Speaking practice group, or SPG, began as a small group consisting of 5 people of IELTS students from Leaders English who met online to prepare for their speaking test using a simple meeting format. With support of Leaders English, the session gradually opened to the public and were held weekly to invite more learners to practice together. Since it launched in July 2021, SPG has steadily grown into a supportive space for English learners and speaking practitioners. Approaching its first anniversary, Fans Millennials Network Consulting joined the initiative to expand SPG's impact not only as a learning platform but also a space for networking. Today, SPG meetings have been significantly improved, and a mentorship program has been introduced to further strengthen its role and reach. Before we go to the meeting agenda, I want to share you about the housekeeping rules and announcement to make this a safe, supportive, and place for everyone. Sorry. First, please remain respectful, cautious, and mindful of others during the session. Second, avoid any personal information, contact details, or links to commercial products or potentially unsafe websites in the chat. The most reserved, the host, Third, the host reserves the rights to remove participants who disrupt the session. Wait a second. Why am I tap? Okay. Fourth, keep your microphone muted at all times unless it's during the Q&A session, breakout rooms, or when the host specifically requests otherwise. This session is being recorded. By participating, you consent to the recording of your video, name, and comments. Take full advantage of this opportunity to practice English and expand your network. Be proactive and contribute to the growth of this community. So, without further ado, let's read the meeting agenda. Who will read it by the moderator, Brother Adam. So, Brother Adam, time and place is yours.
All right. I'm
Yeah, your voice
audible?
is clear.
Okay, all right. Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Adam. I will be your moderator this morning. Before we start, I will share the meeting agenda. At first, at 7 until 7:05 a.m., opening Zoom, housekeeping, and reading agenda. At 7:06 until 7:10 a.m., reading speaker CV. At 7:10 until 7:30 a.m., speaker session. 7:31 a.m. until 7:50 a.m. Q&A and closing statement from speaker. At 7:51 until 8 a.m. presenting certificate and taking group picture. At 8:01 until 8:05 a.m. topic of the day. At 8:06 until 8:21 a.m. the first breakout room 15 minutes. 8:44 until 8:39 a.m. the second breakout room 15 minutes, and the last at 8:40 until 8:45 a.m. introducing new participants and choosing a new moderator and speaker. Moderator and presenter using of well of names and closing. So okay. Okay, next slide. Before our presentation start, I will share the presenter CV. So the title is Becoming a Cooperative Head in Koperasi Desa Merah Putih by Asep Usman Abdullah. Education background, Master degree of the University of Queensland, Australia. Bachelor degree of IPB Universitas Bogor. Current work cooperative has in Koperasi Desa Merah Putih, founder of Fans Millennials Network Consulting, President Komisioner PT Timeless Network Group, part of interest, human resource and community development, digital business consulting, financial planning and marketing, animal husbandry, English. Current city is Sukabumi, West Java. Special coach, networking goes beyond the term itself. It is about sharing ideas, building connection and working together. Let's share, connect, and collaborate. So now I will invite Mr. Asep. Mr. Asep, time express is yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Radadam, for introducing me and also the opportunity for me to present my the topic of my current work. And let me share my presentation. Just wondering, am I audible? And are you viewing my screen now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, let me begin my presentation with the disclaimer. So the content of this presentation is for learning activity purposes. Participants might have different arguments on the content, hence feel free to clarify. Particularly, this is a new initiative from the government of Indonesia, so probably there are some pro and cons about this project or this uh, national strategic project. So it's better to have a discussions later on Q&A session. So this is the outline of my presentation: introduction to a cooperative and milestones, challenges, opportunities, and being cooperative member. But probably due to time constraints, probably I might present half of it for this series one, and I will continue with the series two later once the time permit. So what is cooperative? There are two definitions. The first one is from Undang-Undang Nomor 25 Tahun 92 tentang perkoperasian. So this is from our national regulation or national law. Is a business entity whose members consist of individuals or cooperative legal entities operating on the basis of cooperative principles and serving as people's economic movement founded upon the principle of mutuality and family values. So I will explain further about the difference between a cooperative and other business entity, including PT, right, as a company or limited liability company. So the second one is the definition comes from International Cooperative Alliance. Cooperative is autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise. So if you see from these definitions, it's very clear that member has a strong role or has strong authority to lead or to run the organizations, which is very, very different with regular company or other business entity where the shareholders have a strong authority to what we call to run and also to control the enterprise. There are 7 values of cooperative. The first one is self-help. So members help themselves by working together. Normally, they build cooperative because they have same goals, or they experience unfairness, for example, and they try to have a better conditions. by working together, create cooperative, and they create a sort of economic cycle where the benefits can be gained from internal organization. So from by and from them. I mean by and for them. So the second one is self-responsibility, which means that members take responsibility for the cooperative. It's very clear from the beginning that members have authority and also they have responsibility with clear role and also a clear benefit as well. And the third one is democracy. Each member has equal voting rights, one member, one vote. So if you also compare with corporation, for example, or a company, regular company, shareholder have the one who have a higher number or high amount of share, they have stronger role or stronger authority, which is very different with cooperative. Cooperative is based on the person itself. So one person, one vote. And the fourth one is equality. All members are treated fairly and equally, while the fifth value, equity, benefits and responsibilities are distributed fairly. And the sixth values is solidarity. Members support one another and act collectively. We call this collective egoism. So which means that they have own interests, everyone has own interests, but they are united and become a collective interest. And the last one is honesty and openness, transparency, inclusiveness, and accessibility of information and participation, especially when reporting of financial progress or financial report. This is very fundamental one. And also openness. They open for the members if anytime members ask questions or ask the progress of the cooperative itself. So the management should provide required information. And then we also have 7 principles. So the first one is voluntary and open membership, or in Indonesia called sukarela, terbuka and sukarela. And the second one is democratic member control. The decision is made based on musyawarah or deliberation and based on voting when necessary, and it's very democratic. The third one is member economic participation. So the benefit is not only based on the amount of fund, which is not really the priority one. Instead, the benefit is calculated based on the participation or transaction. So if you are the member of a cooperative, for instance, and you buy a lot to the store of cooperative or to the outlets of cooperative, and you have a right to receive points for each transaction, and it's accumulated, so it becomes the basis for distributing the benefit or surpluses or SHU at the end of in the end of the financial year or during annual general meeting. So it's not based on the number of fund that you have put on this enterprise or this cooperative. Instead, it's based on the number of transactions that you have made. And the fourth one is autonomy and independence. Of course, we have a regulation, and but we trying to be politically free, and we don't really affiliate with any political movement or something like that. So we really independent. And then the fifth one is education, training, and information. It's very highlighted here because we want to have sort of categorization. In cooperative, we have to, of course, from the internal management first, we provide awareness program so that they can understand what the principle, what values, and also how the cooperative should be organized based on the best practice that we can see from the module or from the guideline. And also we have to share to the general society or to the member at least about the cooperative, because later they might perform role as management, because we are democratic organization. So, and for example, when the management finish, I mean, in terms of the first period finish, for the second period, we are open for other members to fulfill the new role as a leader, for instance. So that's based on the deliberation or the musyawarah. So it's important to provide awareness to other members as well, because later they might become leader of this enterprise. And the sixth one is cooperation among cooperatives. So if you ever heard koperasi primer and koperasi sekunder. Koperasi primer is basically the regular cooperative. One cooperative has members, and then they operate based on the guideline. While the second one, this seconder, cooperative seconder, is the collaboration among cooperatives. So it's open for collaboration among cooperatives. And the last one is concern for community. It's about the sustainability of how a cooperative should be organized to make sure that this long term, and it provide also a good benefit or advantages to environment as well. So there are 7 principles. There are 7 values of cooperative. Let me now explain the differences between cooperative, limited liability company or PT, and BUMDes itself, or Badan Usaha Milik Desa, or we call this village government-owned enterprise. Based on the regulation or legal basis, each has on legal basis. For example, cooperative law number 25, 1992, that's very, very basic one. The mother of other regulation, even though now President Prabowo issued instruction president, for instance, he still use law number 25 as the basic or the foundation of his impress. About PT, law number 40, and BUMDes, law number 6. In terms of ownership, cooperative owned by members. So if you are a member of cooperative, means that you own the cooperative itself. While the limited liability company or PT, it's owned by shareholders, probably one, two, three, or more, but normally I think typically 5 or 6 shareholders. But of course, it's open for public. Public might have shareholder as well, but I think it's just small amount. Still, there is a one or single shareholder who normally possesses the highest portion of the shareholder in PT, right? So he has a right to control the PT itself. And BUMDes itself is owned by village government. So Desa has an enterprise called BUMDes. So the management of BUMDes should report to Kepala Desa or head of village. While the main purposes, the first one for the cooperative is, of course, to meet members' economic, social, and cultural needs, while for PT to maximize profit for shareholders, while BUMDes is to increase village income and community welfare. In terms of control system, as I mentioned earlier, in cooperative, one member, one vote. It's very democratic, while for PT, voting based on share ownership, while BUMDes, controlled by village government. And of course, there is a advisor as well as supervisor in BUMDes who can supervise or oversee the work of the management, supervise the program as well. So it's not as simple as just controlled by village government. There is also advisory board or supervisor board in that enterprise or that organization. In terms of decision-making body, for cooperative, we have RAT or annual members meeting or rapat anggota tahunan. It's normally it occurs or takes place in the beginning of the year for the last year financial report. So for example, for 2025 financial report, we have to report um, before April. So we have to finish within 3 months of the new year. For example, now we are preparing for RAT or annual members meetings in March for the last year financial report. And we have to avoid last minute. I mean, we don't want to have rush, so we have to really prepare for that one from earlier, and we don't want also to exceed after March, for instance, because the regulation we have to abide the regulation, and the regulation itself says that March is the last month for financial report of last year. While for PT General Meeting of Shareholders or rapat pemilik saham, rapat RUPS, and then village meeting for musyawarah desa for BUMDes. In terms of profit distribution, we have surplus or SHU, sisa hasil usaha, distributed based on member participation, as mentioned earlier. So it's not just the number of funds we have deposited or we have distributed to cooperative. Instead, it really based on the number of participation. So we encourage members to have transactions in cooperative stores or in cooperative outlets or in other cooperative business units. In terms of PT, I mean profit distribution in PT, it's called dividends based on share owns, right? Or manfaat dari saham, ya. And then in terms of the profit distribution in BUMDes, there is term called PADES, Profit Contribute to Village Revenue. And of course, there is incentive or profit sharing for the management, or even the management itself has sort of salary or we call remuneration from the operational cost. So it may be different village, different system, but again, the main source of fund is from Dana Desa. In terms of capital source, a member in cooperative member contribute and retain surplus or SHU. So for the PT, share capital and investors. So I mean for the cooperative one, the capital comes from simpanan pokok and simpanan wajib. Or simpanan pokok means the initial contribution. So only once lifetime, I mean during, as long as you are a member of cooperative, that's the first contribution that you have to pay. And there is a monthly contribution called mandatory saving or simpanan wajib every month. So that's the source of capital of fund for running a business in cooperative. There is also a sukarela or voluntary saving, which means that you can save in cooperative anytime, but also you can take or withdraw anytime. Meanwhile, for initial contribution or simpanan pokok and monthly contribution, which called mandatory saving or simpanan wajib, you can't withdraw them as long as you are cooperative member. But when you terminate yourself from the membership or you resign from the cooperative, you have right to take them out all without any discounts or any what we call administration fee. But of course, depends on the cooperative. Sometimes cooperative has rule to cut the based on the administration fee, or your money from cooperative is reduced by administration fee. But I think normally there is no administration fee. So for the PT itself, the capital source from investors or share capital, and for the BUMDes from village fund or separated village asset if there is. And the relationship with community, members are owners and users in cooperative, while in PT, customers are separate from owners, of course. And then in BUMDes, community as beneficiaries, village as owner, or desa as the owner of the enterprise. Value orientation in cooperative, mutual help, solidarity, and equality. In PT, capital growth and return on investment, which is very profit oriented, while in BUMDes, village development and public benefit. So in short, cooperative is member driven, PT or company is capital driven, BUMDes is government driven at the village level. So that there are three business enterprise with the uniqueness of each. And this is the main one. I mean, what I want to highlight more is Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih or KDKMP, Red and White Urban Village Cooperative. So it is 2025 initiative by President Prabowo and Vice President Gibran, aiming to establish or revitalize 80,000 cooperatives across Indonesian villages or urban areas, which is very fantastic. So I do believe that wherever you are now, in village or in urban, in kelurahan or in desa, I'm sure there is Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih. So how about the benefits of KDKMP? Benefit increase. The first one is increasing people's income through the development of micro, small, medium enterprises or UMKM. And the second one is empowering communities in managing local potential and resources. So as a management of KDKMP, we are encouraged to identify the local potential or resources in our village or in kelurahan or in desa. So by identifying this potential, we can have access. We can have access how to to maximize or to make the most of those resources and make it align with the program of KDKMP itself. And the third benefit is facilitating access to basic needs such as basic necessities or sembako, medicine, kesehatan, and financial service or keuangan like simpan pinjam, and encouraging economic growth in the sub-district. Of course, our president, through his flagship, he's been trying to centralize, I mean, to put priority in village so that the economic growth can come from the village itself. So it open employment and also can what we call decrease poverty, eradicate any financial problem in each individual. I mean, like Bank Emok or other rentenir problem. So basically, they have a good intention, but of course, there are some pro and cons when running or when implementing this initiative. In terms of the businesses, so we have grocery stores like providing basic necessities at affordable prices, because soon we have what we call, this is like store or outlets, and this is the example of the design of the outlet itself. I think mostly they haven't finished until this stage, but of course there are some, just a few, including in my village. We are still in progress, I think around 40%, but most of the KDKMP will look like this. So maybe you are interested in identifying where in your location whether this kind of building is available now, I mean already built. Soon or later they will be like this in your area. So yeah, please see and yeah, monitor when possible. And of course, we have medicine focus. I mean, health focus, like providing cheap drugstore. So if you look at this picture, there is pharmacy or apothec in here. So based on the site plan, apothec will be here near the main gate of what we call gudang or another outlets of in this building. So we also have saving and loan unit, open access to finance and business finance. Even though I think it's not really priority, probably our government has been trying to find the best formula of saving and loan because we don't want to be trapped in uncontrolled risks. We want this very controllable. I know this is government program. People might think, okay, this is hibah or grant. They might take money and maybe they don't have really I mean, don't have a desire level. I mean, they probably don't have the quite level of seriousness. So we want, I think we also expect the government should create a clear regulation that can accommodate their need, but at the same time, they also can mitigate the risks. We also have village clinic, provide basic health service or clinic itself. Like it's not puskesmas, but probably like pembantu, puskesmas pembantu. And in this building, village clinic will be in the last part of this building here. And there is a waiting room as well. And there is a village clinic inside. And cold storage and logistics support business activities and storage of local products. It probably in warehouse, I mean behind this, but all the grocery will be displayed like Alfamart, Indomart, or mini market in here. So the the second big portion after warehouse is grocery stores in the front. So from the second window here until the last one here, it will be for grocery stores displaying um, basic necessities, foods, and etc. Part of the cooperative products. Meanwhile, for fertilizer, gas LPG, for instance, and other equipment will be stored in warehouse. So the warehouse is the first, I mean, the biggest portions of this building, which is in the behind the grocery stores here. And the size of this building is 30 times 60 30 times 6, sorry, 30 times 20 meters. So just quick one about the difference between cooperative itself and Koperasi Desa Merah Putih because it's quite, I mean, it's subtle different, but of course because of flagship of the current government or the national strategic program. So there is impress in Koperasi Desa Merah Putih made by President Prabowo. In terms of ownership, of course, owned by members, but in Koperasi Desa Merah Putih, there is a special what we call terms and condition when recruiting the members. In the regular cooperative, we can open for anyone from different regions or different city, different villages. But for the Koperasi Desa Merah Putih, we have to recruit members from the same village. Jadi from satu desa, we can't hire from other villagers. I mean from outside of our desa. And in terms of capital source, cooperative members contribute to the capital. We call this initial contribution or simpanan pokok, and mandatory contribution or mandatory saving simpanan wajib every month. While for Koperasi Desa Merah Putih, in addition to the initial contribution and mandatory saving, there is also Dana Desa, which is mandated by the national government. So even head of village, kepala desa can't control this because president under Ministry of Finance issued the PMK or the regulation for financial, the financial regulation in village level. So they can't refuse. So Dana Desa is cut for KDKMP, I think more than 50%, around 50 to 60%. So it's become contradictory for many because probably they previously have health program, they have infrastructure program, they have education program, or even they have economic program. They planned earlier, but then this year, national government cut the fund because they relocate the fund for KDKMP more than 50% of Dana Desa. In terms of business models, for the cooperative one, it's not really specific, while Koperasi Desa Merah Putih is very specific. Business unit usually cooperative has 1 to 3 core units, while for the Koperasi Desa Merah Putih, they have a template, at least 7 strategic gerai or multi-sector ecosystem approach that I mentioned earlier. All right, so hopefully you have now better understanding about koperasi, especially Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih. So this is our milestone. As I'm now head of Koperasi Desa Merah Putih in my village, called Koperasi Desa Merah Putih Limbangan, Kecamatan Sukaraja, Kabupaten Sukabumi. So in 22nd April 2025, we have special village assembly or Musyawarah Desa Khusus, where I was elected in this special village assembly as the leader based on the what we called deliberation and also democratic of voting. And then on 20th June 2025, we have deed of establishment or Akta Pendirian prepared by a licensed notary. And on 23rd June 2025, it was officially registered in the AHAU system or in the Directorate General of Legal Administration, Ministry of Law and Human Rights of Indonesia. So that's the legal entity for my cooperative. And then we also have first business unit called Kopdesnet. Kopdesnet means internet service in my village. So we are partnering with the local enterprise which operates in internet service. And we collaborate and we profit sharing, and we have a bundling program where they member can enjoy the internet service from us. At the same time, they contribute for initial contribution and mandatory saving every month with easy. So without any force, because they pay for internet costs every month. At the same time, they also pay for mandatory saving, which means they save their money, right? In my case, initial contribution is only 100,000, so just only once at the beginning of membership, while the monthly contribution or mandatory saving, they should pay 20,000 every month, and all of them are bundled in internet costs every month. So they just pay internet costs every month based on the Mbps or the speed of the internet itself. Um, they already basically already pay the required contribution every month. While we also got the special village assembly for establishing outlets and warehouses for Red and White Village Cooperative on 13th of November 2025. So before that, we also before we have focus on warehouse and outlets, the second business unit called Pesona Limbangan Food Court. So we again partner with investor or private company to run Limbangan Food Court. This is kind of food court in my village with around 16 stores now, will be extended until 20. Um, KDKMP Limbangan here perform as the facilitator. So we don't provide fund or we don't invest, but we facilitate between investor and the local keRW-an or the local people. So we have strategic role because we provide a draft of concept and we also monitor the operation of this business. We already groundbreaking and grand opening just recently, I think last month. So this is our food court, and we already most outlets, most stores already fulfilled, but there are some because we just launched on 15th of this month, and soon I think maybe after Ramadan, uh, even now during Ramadan, I think there are a lot of people coming to these stores, and we also open some space for UMKM or small medium enterprise in front of these stores to attract more people to join for takjil, for instance, for iftar. So another milestone is the development of Red and White Village Cooperative Warehouse and Outlet itself. So the first day on 18th of December 2025, this is the last picture of I think 10 February 2026. Yeah, we haven't finished, of course, still on progress, but the picture of the final product or final building will be like this. So it's very, very template. I mean, we follow the template from the national government. We expect that mid of this year it's already finished and can operate within this year. So we can offer grocery stores, we can offer pharmacy, a clinic, fertilizer. Hopefully it can benefit many people in my village. And another milestone is on the 14th February 2026, which is Valentine Day. We launched Basic Necessities Bazaar in certain place in my village, where number of cooperatives, high number of cooperatives is there. So yeah, we really greet our members there. But for this time, of course, the foods or the basic necessity comes from own money. I mean, from cooperative itself, without any support from the government. And we also partner with we have been partnering with local enterprise as well to provide some basic necessities. So we really collaborating for this bazaar. Well, in terms of digitalization, this is an interesting one. Now you can access Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih on simkopdes.go.id. So if you want to see your Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih in your area, just simply type. While for this one, let me also guide you how to view this website so that you can have better understanding to monitor your KDKMP in your area. So this is my cooperative, Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih Limbangan, Kecamatan Sukaraja. Basically, this is landing page or microsite, we call this. So there's some information like the number of village or the population, number of people, and this is the structure of the management, and there are some business units, right? And there are some articles here, and this is also the progress of pembangunan gerai. So people or member especially can monitor this. There are some documentation as well, but it depends on the performance of management itself. Maybe some are lazy to update the progress in SimCop days, but I think to me this is very strategic way how to build trust from members as and also community in general. You can also find your Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih in your area. Just simply type here. So, for example, if you are in, let's say, you are Nabil in, where are you now? Sidoarjo, right? So you can just check in Sidoarjo whether KDKMP in your area is already active or has progress, and yeah, and see and monitor. So this is across Indonesia. I mean, anywhere in Indonesia, right? So you can access. And we also have a sort of what we call the portal, very, very digitalized, right? Yeah, this is the portal as well. Still in build, it's near my house. That's a nice one. So this is also, we have a portal here, and we also there are there is a KMP mobile as well. All right. So that's the milestone of my cooperative, Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih Limbangan, Kecamatan Sukaraja. While I know the time is running out, so for the challenges and opportunities, and also another important information will be shared later, maybe in series 2, when the time permits. So that's all my presentation. Thank you for your listening. Hopefully this my presentation provide has provided you some insights, benefits, as well as understanding about uh, cooperative, Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih, its difference, and also probably you wanna get involved in your cooperative, becoming members, so you will have a chance as well becoming a management later, and of course you will own this cooperative because cooperative is owned by members, not by shareholders. Thank you, and back to MC.
Okay, now we have the
Seems Brother Adam freezing ya.
Okay, we got a question from Mr. Dennis. Mr. Dennis, unmute your microphone.
Sure. Mr. Acep, I'm sorry that I cannot turn my camera on
No problem.
because
No
I
problem, Mr.
just
Dennis.
woke up, like I said in the group before. So, Mr. Acep, it is such a very interesting presentation and wonderful presentation from you about the village cooperation. And I also checked that in my village, I also have one, but it is more about the egg, egg, how do I say that one? Egg business. Yeah, I just saw it. Chicken egg business, layer egg. So my question, Mr. Acep, when you had this Koperasi Desa, In your opinion, is that really difficult in terms of the bureaucracy when you build this business, or it's not that difficult? I mean, like when I see your presentation and also I see my village websites, it seems that there are so many stakeholders that you need to deal with. So, my second question is, how do you deal with if the bureaucracy is quite complicated? Uh, how do you deal with many kinds of stakeholders? That's actually my questions, Mr. Acep. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me answer directly, ya, Brother Adam.
Please.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Mr. Dennis, for the questions. That's interesting one. As I would put that answer as well in the challenges opportunities later, but let me spill first about the challenges in terms of bureaucracy. Yes, if you say, is it difficult? I would say yes. It's not as simple as we thought. But again, as this is a national strategic program, and you know, Pak Presiden, our president also employ military as well as troops in supervising the development of Koperasi Desa Merah Putih building, for instance. At least Babinsa is already, I mean, is always there every day to monitor. Uh, in terms of the failure, I think it can be mitigated in terms of the failure. So that's the strength one. Why military? I mean, the strength of military, and it can avoid any premanism as well, because probably President Prabowo realized, and also national government realized, when we have government program in village, maybe they cut costs. I mean, in terms of the utilization of the fund might be they might have sort of fraud. I mean, high risk of fraud, or at least there are some parties that also take that money. At least premanism will be there. Meanwhile, in this the development of Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih, as military is employed there and Babinsa is there every day, uh, no no preman or no ormas comes, or there are some. I mean, in my case, there was some approach, but they couldn't afford to ask, or even ask money for them, or Japrem, for instance. So that's the strength one. But again, to answer your question, whether bureaucracy in terms of the administration, for instance, yes, relatively difficult, because from the beginning we have to comes to notary, license notary, and then we have to register until we got like SK from Ministry of Law, and then after that we have to musyawarah desa khusus, or special village assembly, when we decide something at the beginning of this organization. So really, we invite um, I mean, figures in our village, RT, RW, kadus, right, or kepala dusun here in village. So it's quite, procedural. But again, probably this was intended to mitigate any possible problem in future, because when we build Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih outlets and warehouse, they use village assets or tanah desa. So if you don't have a very careful plan in deciding, probably they could be I mean, the possible problem like sengketa or conflict might happen, right? Because aset desa normally, even though probably in some places it's not really strategic, maybe in sangat isolated, for instance, very isolated area or in hutan gitu kan, because of we can't really bargain for this. But maybe for some villages, for some village, aset desa is being used by the head of government, by the head of village itself for their benefits or for other benefit. So when the instruction come from president, use tanah desa or village asset to build koperasi desa Kelurahan Merah Putih outlets and warehouse. This is the challenging part of my process, my journey. So in my case, for instance, when we propose tanah desa or asset, village assets to the national government through the portal that I displayed earlier, and it's been verified quickly because okay, it's very clear and the coordinate is clear, GPS is clear, and based on the administration also clear. So it's owned by village or village government or asset desa. In fact, when it comes to the preparation, I had to face with the head of village because he was using this asset for his benefit. I mean, for his uh, rice field. I mean, for his horticulture products there. I mean, for he has plants there. So because we really wanted to build it as quick as possible because in 2025 the slots or the allocation is very limited, so we had to quickly decide. And while we had to face with the head of village, we tried to persuade him. We had a lobby with him and with other figures as well, or other parties, to make sure to convince him. Okay, you have. I mean, we expected that the head of village can welcome us, and then he finally offered that village asset to us. But we had to pay. I mean, pay not for him, but his alibi. I mean, his reason. Okay, he employed the small farmers there and allowed small farmers to plant in that land. And if we build Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih outlets there, means he lost the opportunity or he lost his plans, right? So we had to pay to make sure that he is happy with this plan. So we were thinking where we have to source money, right, for this one. And then we decided to have a sort of hibah or grant, or we were trying to find out paying money without disturbing our business as well. So that's our struggle, our sacrifice at the beginning of the establishment of Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih Outlet and Warehouse. So and I do believe mostly now they were struggling for securing their land. In 2026, it is very I mean our government, national government, targeted the development of Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih in 2026. All the building finish, at least more than 50%. While 2025 is still okay, maybe just 30 or 20%. And lucky enough, we were included in 2025 program, so that we are establishing the cooperative building, which is good. So it means that we can run as quick as possible to earn money and to provide benefits to members. So yeah, in nutshell, it's quite bureaucracy, procedural, but again, maybe this happened because they want to mitigate any possible issues in future, Mr. Dennis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Acep.
Thank you.
Okay. So, is there any questions? Okay. Any question, guys? Okay, we got question from Mr. Yoyon. Mr. Yoyon, please unmute your microphone and ask the question.
Okay. Anyone can hear me?
Very
Yes.
clear.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay, thank you. Good morning to you all, my dear friend. I just, for this kind of topics about Koperasi Merah Putih, I also already had been, followed this issue about Koperasi Merah Putih from the beginning, from the issue about the conflict, etc. I just want to ask you, uh, can we uh, can we can we see that you are the representative of Koperasi Merah Putih, sir?
Yes, so basically I am the head of one of Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih in my in Indonesia. I mean I'm the leader in the village.
Okay, so nationally, can we see that say that this is the topic as the representative of Koperasi Merah Putih nationally? So
Mm.
we can ask you about anything about this kind of cooperative. We call it KMB.
Well, yeah, as long as I can answer, but again, my capacity as a head of Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih Limbangan, which is my desa, my village. So,
Yeah.
in terms of the policy, perhaps there are some people over there who have own responsibility to answer, but as good as I can answer your question if you have one.
Okay, I see. So number one, I just want to ask about Koperasi Merah Putih. There are so many conflict, many areas in the whole of our areas country, such as Sulawesi, Java, and other big island. And there are so many conflict between, we call it in Indonesia, rakyat and tentara. Why should it be happen? This is the program of our government. But why the way to put it up and build up just like that? I'm sorry, I just consider it as something unusual to me, to myself personally. And the other thing, uh, this Koperasi Merah Putih KMP, why not function it again about KUD? Why? Why it must be build out something else? I think the system in Koperasi Merah Putih is nice. It's good enough. Why don't you as one of the uh, the obligators, if I might say, the head of the person that in charge about Koperasi Merah Putih in your place. Why don't you think about this kind of system? Put it in KUD. So it can more functional and not needed to be, big money. We call it this money from APBN in our bahasa Indonesia. And nowadays I heard about the Ministry of Village, Kementerian Pedesaan, say that Alfamart and Indomart must be stopped, must be closed because of the existence of KMP. Why is that? And that is not hoax, I think. If about koperasi is one of the main thing in our country, just like Mr. Muhammad Hatta said. It means that we need cooperation. Definitely. Definitely. I can make sure that definitely we need cooperation. For some people who uneducated also say that. For now that's all. Sir. Thank you.
All
I'm
right.
sorry if anything that I said insult you or something
No,
wrong. Thank
all
you.
good.
Have a
Thank
nice
you,
day.
Mr. Yayan.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
all right. So there are two questions from you. Why conflict happens, but in particular involving military or troops or army with the civil society in some places in Indonesia in regard with the development or establishment of Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih. And the second one is about why we don't revitalize or use the previous cooperative or existing cooperative like KUD, Koperasi Unit Desa, to to continue the operation of Koperasi and provide benefits for local people. Okay, to answer the first questions, conflict, I think it's very possible to have sort of misunderstanding and conflict. And people are so suspicious why our government, especially our President Prabowo, involve army and troops to supervise the establishment of Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih, even MBG as well. But now I think more in Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih. As I mentioned earlier, another the strength, I mean, or the benefit, the involvement of TNI or troops is the standard of um, the standard of the quality or the based on the procedure they require. I mean, they have sort of template or site plan, and they also have a timeline, and they want to make sure that they are timely efficient, costly efficient, and they might need to put Babinsa or army military in the area. But again, this is Babinsa. Babinsa means the army in your area, in your village, and he is assigned to stay in your village just to control the ketertiban, right? The security. That's the normal function. But then when Kadek KMP comes, he is also assigned to be a supervisor or mandor, at least in the establishment of KDKMP. And from my lens, the strength of or the benefit, the involvement of KDK, the Babinsa or the army, is to avoid any possible um, problems coming from, let's say, premanism or people who have laziness or they might not be professional. By involving Babinsa in there, not to design, not to build, but they just monitor. So the fund from national budget comes to Agrinas, PT Agrinas. PT Agrinas is the what we call the vendor who receive fund from Himbara, perhaps, or from other national source, and then they have agreement with Panglima TNI or what we call the head of military in our country, to make sure that they have sort of comments, the same comments from the national level until the village level. That's the strong one. But in terms of the conflict, perhaps a misunderstanding might happen. Again, the village asset or village land. Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih is intended to build in village land or tanah aset desa. So potential conflict may happen when tanah aset desa is now being used by other business or at least for agriculture, for instance. In my case, that time when planning, when the preparation, I had to deal with the head of village, because the head of village was using that land for his horticulture business, agriculture business. So we had to make a deal at the beginning, because if we didn't do that, I might not receive the special offer to build Koperasi Desa Kelurahan Merah Putih in that year 2025, right? Um, I heard also a conflict happened in my regency, but of course different village, different sub-district. This because of the allocation of the tanah desa. So misunderstanding happened, probably lack of planning. So when KDKMP was built there, started to build, then another party came, because this land should be allocated for hospital. So misunderstanding happened in that time, but I haven't checked the progress. As far as I know, KDKMP is still progressing, but probably there is solutions for this issue. Perhaps I haven't checked the detail yet in my neighbor sub-district. So that conflict happened in my surrounding area, but probably we heard also in news, in media, social media, or in other mass. We heard some conflicts, but yeah, that's the excess or the drawbacks of this program. But I'm sure there is some intent, I mean, clear intention why our government should employ army, military in this bill establishment. But again, as far as for supervising or monitoring, I think it's still fine from my perspective. But we don't want the military involved in the business operation later. So we are really worried about that, because okay, in the building or the establishment, that's acceptable from my lens. But we don't want this happen when we run the business. The military there, or it's quite so what we call authoritarian. We don't want that happens, right? And I think it's been confirmed by the head of the military, national military, that they just employ military in the establishment of KDKMP outlet or warehouse. They will not involve in the business operation. But who knows? We still stay alert of that, and let's see. So we agree. I mean, personally, I agree if the military is there, just to control, to minimize any premanism or any fraud. But again, we might might be suspicious. The fraud might happen in internal military, perhaps, but we don't want to have some dangerous speculation of this. But again, that's just in internal of military itself. So that's the first answering for the first question. Well, the second one about the functioning KUD, for instance, the existing koperasi in our village or koperasi unit desa, for instance. There is KUD in my village as well, but it's been dormant for a long time. I don't know why. Even when we were planning for KDKMP, why not we revitalize the existing KUD? And then some people, I mean, some important people in my village said, oh, it's very difficult, complicated, because it's now become young generation. I mean, their parents already passed away, and their children now continue the management. But again, it's still possible of conflict. And again, in terms of the asset, that's koperasi asset, right? I mean, that's the asset of their members. So when it comes to KDKMP establishment, probably it's more difficult to continue KUD in my case, rather than just create new one. But in terms of the planning or the program itself, KDKMP can, of course, be built from the existing cooperative, either KUD or other cooperative. We call this revitalization. So national government offer 2 or 3 ways of building KDKMP. The first one, new KDKMP. The second one is revitalizing the existing cooperative from the existing cooperative, of course. So that is possible. And I forgot the last one. Either maybe joining the existing cooperative or so on. But I'm sure I know the 2 ways of building KDKMP. The first one is new KDKMP, and the second is revitalizing the existing cooperative, including KUD. So there is a way for a village government or people in village to submit or to propose KUD and then change it to be KDKMP. Very possible, because there is a way for that. But mostly I believe they create new one, including in my village. So we create new KDKMP, and I'm sorry we really ignore or neglect the existing KUD because it's dormant and it's very complicated if we try to involve, I mean, to get them in and to become part of the KDKMP. So that's consideration really made really we had that considerations at the beginning, so that we didn't involve the existing KUD. Instead, we created new KDKMP in my case. Hopefully, this answer your question, Mr. Yoyon. Yeah. But happy to discuss further in, I mean, outside of this meeting if possible. I think you're muted. All right. That's all, I guess, from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Yayan, you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, I've about the issue that or this the say that you had been said before about the military that can be in the decision route of your KMP. It's better you really are precautious about it because nowadays you I'm sure you already see what happening in our country. All of you here that I'm sure that already read and know exactly what happened. I don't have anything about the government program, but everything that involves of government program that involve about military, absolute military is not correct. Definitely is not correct. I'm sure you all, we all here is, agree about it because the history said about it. So if military only supervise about the security or something else beside the decision, how about the cooperative goes on in the future? It's okay. And also, you know, taking over by force is not good. Truly, is not good. I do something, I do notice that something else happened about this KMP. I don't know about it. And please, if I may suggest about KMP, won't be another unfunctioned program that only giveaway as a giveaway from our national budget, you know, because it is the effect of budget efficiency, one of those things. And how how about if how about if it happened, the military silently involved in your decision, what will you do? I think you haven't. You doesn't need to answer about it. Just answer in your consciousness, answer in your heart and your mind, and
Yeah.
all of us, all of us in here. If some of you uh, is the person in the organization structure, just remember that is national budget and it comes from one of you and all of us because in my wife's region something else happened and I do believe in my wife uh, also in Surabaya, but please I do please get your consciousness as your decision, don't make it worse for the resistance about the conflict is good enough. Because they have a main basic and it truly they need it. They need it. They need the land, you know, sawah taken over by force. and something else. That is not good. Totally not good. And that is not that the basic of military. No, definitely not. And
That's
thank
right.
you.
Yes,
Yeah, thank
thank you,
you.
Mr. Yayan, for your
Yeah,
insight, for your feedback.
yeah,
I couldn't agree more with the last statement. I also part of the person who dislike the military involvement in, um, I mean, in the intensive context, like in the business operation. So
yeah,
far, their involvement I think is still acceptable. But of course, when you ask me what's your next step, of course we have to well, like create sort of viral arguments to make sure
yeah,
that many Indonesian
yeah.
also vote or support us that we
Hmm.
don't want to provide access of for military for
Yeah,
the civil based operation like a business operation because this
yeah,
is should be pure business. Cooperative is a business entity, right? I know this is flagship of our government, President Prabowo, but
yeah,
again, I think there is certain measure, I mean limited measure for military to get involved, and I should be clear limitations in that area. And again, so let me also share what the disappointment from the Babinsa or the local military that in charge in my village. And he, well, if he has offer whether he can choose or not choose, of course, he will definitely not choose to be part of this KDKMP because he realized it's not my duty. I mean, my
yeah, definitely.
priority, right?
Yeah,
My priority is to make sure that in my village is safe, the security,
conducive.
yeah,
Yeah,
security is well established. It's not my, I mean, my thing, he said. But because
mm,
satu one command from the head of military, Kodim, and then Koramil, something like that, and he has to obey this. And well, it's not from his voluntary basis, but because of force, of course, and pressure.
yeah,
Again, the good thing is if we get involved Babinsa is still local people, I guess. I mean, we still close with them, right?
yeah,
But it will be too much if, for example, from provincial level or even from regency level comes to the village. But as long as Babinsa, I think it's acceptable because we're really close with Babinsa, and Babinsa is part of the community. So now again, it's still controllable, but I do agree with your statement. We have to be cautious whether the head of government, I mean the head of national government, which is our president, bring this into the more intensive one, involving military in the business operation. So of course I disagree with that notion, and we have to speak up, and then involve others also to speak up about this. I think is too much if we get involved in the business operation in KDKMP. I know in terms of the political view, it's very strategic, right? Especially for we don't know whether in 2029 he will nominate again as the president, and he has a flagship like this, and he has members in KDKMP, and probably it's become part of his vote, right? Again, the good intention sometimes in the bridge in the brink of, I mean, sometimes in the breach of what political interests as well. That's the political program, political based program, and I think Kadekam is part of the political based program. Many issues over there comes from, for example, from his party, and not too democratic during the election for the head of KDKMP. even in my municipality, I mean in Kota, there is a top-down instruction or top-down instruction from the head of Wali Kota or municipality to hire the head of KDKMP from his group. So it's very clear because even though it's not a part of the president party, but again, in the village level, in the municipality level, or in the regency level, they are aware this is a part of the political weapon as well. I mean, they perhaps have political interests as well. So they use KDKMP as part of the strategic programs to help the well, the nomination or the interest for 2029 later. So it could be more political interest later on, but let's say to me, as a head of KDKMP, I'm trying to be focused, trying to provide benefit as many as we can, and what the government intention to decrease the price of basic necessities, more accessible for health, more accessible for fertilizer, more accessible for some groceries. I think we have to prove that. And we don't really think too much about later, just focus on the present one. Even now, we haven't got any support in terms of the basic necessities supply from the government. We have tried to establish bazaar, sourcing from the lowest price in my hometown and bring the foods to my village, and then we provide. I mean, we sell them to our members so that they can access cheaper basic necessities. So that's a benefit that we can offer without government support first, because we have to wait until Gerai KDKMP established. In the meantime, we still can do something for our members. That's my case. I mean, in my village.
Yeah, exactly. Just like riding the horse in the different stable. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. But
That's
still,
nice idiom.
yeah, but still, you have to really truly. This is we can make sure that our environment take the benefit, no matter who they are in the decision maker position. Who cares? But still, if you give us comfy or some kind of economic establishment, we do that. If you don't, we don't do that, right? It's like that. I agree with you. That I hope that more people just like you yourself, because
Thank
if
you.
if someone just like you, we call it merinding, because nowadays one of that I still follow and preserve, and also get collecting the data from our in netizen friends, telur-telur netizen, about another program, and definitely it's not good. Definitely it's not good. Even though the aims, the goals is nice. The goals is nice. I do sure that you know what kind of program that I mean, with your assumption, with your principle like this. Uh, just it kind of hopeless, but actually it's not hopeless. That is the mindset that provide to be what they want. No, we do have to deny it. We do really have denied it. And thanks a lot. I I I do appreciate what you have in mind, because some children to be the victims of one of the government programs.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
according to, yeah, and hopefully it's not to be widened.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Mr.
More
Yayan,
widened.
for sharing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we
See
can
you
talk
next
more
time.
later. Yeah, outside of this meeting as well. I know the time is running out now. Probably we
Yeah,
can have quickly breakout room session. Just maybe, let's see, maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Back to the host.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr.
Good
Yayan
morning.
Anandoko.
See you
Good
all.
morning.
Okay, I think the Q&A time was done. Now we have the breakout room session. For the session, I will invite the Mr. Asep to take over.
Okay, Brother Altamis might be, yeah.
Oh, Mr. Altamis, I will
Yeah.
take over.
Bruh, not
Take
Mr.
over, take
Altamis.
over,
Okay.
Mr. Altamis.
So before we move to the breakout room, guys, we have to presenting the certificate for the moderator because the presenter is the owner of this meeting.
Yes, that's right.
So we don't have to,
To display it.
presenting the Mr. Acep
Yeah. Okay.
certificate. Where is Mr. Adam and Mr. Acep? All right. Wait. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Adam, for being moderator this time. Keep it up and let's have picture session together. Brother Altamis, you wanna take picture?
Yeah, I'll take the picture. 1, 2, and 3. So after the presenting certificate, we have to the wait a second.
Group picture session?
Yeah, group picture session for the documentation purpose. So if you don't mind to open your camera, please open your camera. Brother Salim, Brother Nabil, Sister Z, Mr. Yoyon. Okay.
Yo, Jill.
Hey, Bill. Okay. I'll count on 3. 1. Oh, wait a second. Why? Okay. I'll count on 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right. We already done the taking group picture. So after taking group picture, we move to the topic of the day first. Before the breakout room, I know some of you already. I know. Yeah. So anyone wants to read the topic of the day, please unmute yourself, or I'll point some of you.
Happy to.
Okay then, Kaisan.
Again. Okay. Sorry.
Never mind.
Becoming a cooperative head in Koperasi Desa Merah Putih is an important role in supporting village development. This cooperative aims to improve the local economy by helping farmers, small businesses, and families work together. The cooperative head is responsible for organizing activities, managing members, and making sure rules are followed. Good communication and honesty are very important in this position. The background of a cooperative head usually includes experience in community work and basic management skills. A leader must understand local needs and be ready to listen to members' ideas. By working fairly and transparently, the cooperative head can build trust. This role also helps create job opportunities and encourages people to support each other for shared progress. For the topic of the questions, number 1 is, what skills and personal qualities are most important for someone who wants to become a cooperative head and lead village members effectively while maintaining trust and clear communication? The second one is, how can a cooperative head support farmers and small businesses in the village while also managing finances responsibly and ensuring long-term development for all members? That.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kaisan. So, thank you for the topic of the day. So after this, we will have the breakout room session. Wait a second. I have to
Maybe only 10 minutes breakout room, perhaps.
10 minutes. Okay then. 10 minutes. Okay. I open our room. Okay. Ready? I open our room. Start from now.
My dad to change the oil in the car. So yeah, I really like fixing stuff.
Oh, that's very mechanical things, right?
Yeah, I do mechanical things.
All right, that's interesting. Let's ask Mr. Yayan. How about you, Mr. Yayan? What kind of activities do you usually do when you have spare time?
Conducting some WhatsApp group about foreign language, and also nowadays we having a project about literation. That we are building, we are building up again about the consumption of reading for our
It's about literacy.
yeah.
Okay.
So nowadays, some use that is really, miris lah kata orang bilang.
But that's
It's like
good,
that.
Mr. Yaya. Probably later on you interested in sharing your free time activities. I mean your activities, your voluntary based activities, or even your career here in our SPG. Have you done become speaker here at SPG?
No, actually, but please don't make me like in as a speaker, because I don't know how to make a representation like you.
Oh, no problem. Okay, next time perhaps. I mean, not
But if,
in near future.
yeah,
But is
are
this
you
your
sure?
first time? Is this your first time joining our meeting, or even more than
Oh,
one?
more than one. Some months ago, I have been
Joining.
in this kind of yes, practice speaking. Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Uh,
I see.
are you still in the same group with us in the what speaking right?
Yeah,
If I'm
screen
not
practice
mistaken.
group. Yeah.
Oh, so really? Because we are now working out about foreigner to learn bahasa Indonesia in our WhatsApp group. So we are inviting some foreigners in some countries to learn
Learn
about bahasa
bahasa.
Indonesia. Yeah, bahasa. I
That's
just say
interesting
that
one.
bahasa Indonesia. Yeah.
Yeah, we learn English, but at the same time we also teach bahasa to foreigners. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
and it more in more formally. So they will and I also involve the TBM Taman Baca Masyarakat, the community, and also
Where is it
the
located, if I may ask? Where is it located, TBM?
many places there are TBM, Sidoarjo, Surabaya, and many
Okay.
places. Yeah, but some of them not active. Some of them active. But now they are forum. They are the community forum. Yeah, the community. Yeah, you can call it the community about TBM. And the now Sidoarjo is going to help about it. The to make it better, because the youth is not good enough to encourage to read.
Probably now
Yeah.
a different platform, perhaps
Yeah.
lots of
Because
variety of
scrolling,
gadget
scrolling,
possible
scrolling.
reading source. All right,
Yeah.
so Brother Gani, so my turn now, asking you a
Yeah.
question. I mean, I would like to ask Brother Gani related to what is the hardest thing that you usually face during Ramadan? I know the time is running out.
It's okay. It's okay.
Brother Gani, you wanna answer this? Just quick one.
Okay. See you
I
tomorrow.
think
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yeah.
Waalaikumsalam. I
But
don't know. Maybe choosing food for sour is kind of. Usually, I just drink water and eat. What's kurma? Kurma apa bahasa Inggrisnya?
yeah, like well,
Oh, date.
it,
Usually, I just
yeah,
date or and
yeah,
water.
that, yeah. All right. So hard to eat. I mean, to have meal during sahur, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you have
not
a lot of choices,
really,
but you're
yeah.
not really sure what you're gonna eat for sour.
That's right. That's right. No problem. That's normal, I guess.
Okay, we're back, guys. Wait a second. So we already done in breakout rooms. We don't have two breakout rooms because like the time is already over. So we move to the next after the breakout rooms. After the breakout rooms, we will have the choosing next moderator and presenter. So
That means
yeah.
maybe for choosing the moderator and speaker, exclude me please. Since
You have
I'm
another
next
agenda,
week.
yeah.
Yep, I have a ton of budget.
Yeah, okay then. Wait a second, where's the my Google Wheel of Names. Huh? Oh, it's wrong Google. Me, Mr. Acep, Mr. Sal, Adam, Mr. Ahmad, Brother Gani, Kaisan Noob, Nabil, Hana, Mr. Yoyon, and Z. Okay. So this one is the Wheel of Names. Yeah. So is there okay anything who not in here? Exclude Kaisan? I think nope. Yeah. So wait. Okay. So the first spin is for the speaker. So the next speaker is Brother Nabil. You are the next speaker.
Fine.
Okay. For the next week, and the moderator is Sister Hana.
What the heck?
Sister.
Why?
So the next speaker is Brother Nabil, and the speaker, bruh. The moderator is Sister Hannah. So, before we end the session, we have the new participant, I think, yeah. So, Mr. Yoyon, could you please introduce yourself? Where do you live? You where you where you get this community from? Hello, Mr. Yoyon, are you there? Mr. Yoyon, are you there, Mr. Yoyon? I think I don't know, Mr. Yoyon is there.
But when I was in breakout room with him, he joined previously. Maybe
Ah,
it's not his
Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
time, but it's always good to have a introduction again, Mr. Yan.
yeah.
Perhaps you wanna share your profile a little bit with us.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. I thought
Yes, Mr.
I'll be,
Yan. Yeah,
yeah,
introduction, just quick introduction, perhaps.
yeah, yeah, okay, okay. Hello, good morning to you all. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
I'm Yoyon Andoko from Surabaya, Jawa Timur, Indonesia, and then I'm a married man with two wives. Alhamdulillah. And so now I'm working on about the WhatsApp group to invite foreigners to study about or learning about our language bahasa Indonesia with my friends in group WhatsApp Moco Majalah Moco, and also beside that I'm a freelance, something that I have to do, and so on. That's all, I think. Thanks a lot.
Okay then. Thank you, Mr. Yoyon.
You're welcome, sir.
Don't call me sir, cause like I'm still young.
Brother.
I'm still young.
Okay, brother. Okay. Totally, we are so, Okay, brother. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yoyon. So we don't have anything to do. So thank you for joining this morning weekly meeting, not evening anymore, for Ramadan only. So thank you for joining this. Why?
This
Thank you
session.
for joining this meeting, and see you next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you,
Waalaikumsalam
guys.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you,
Waalaikumsalam
Brother
warahmatullahi
Altamis. Thank you,
Thank you,
Brother
everyone.
Yoyon.
Thank you,
Thank you
Rida.
all.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Yoyon.
everyone.
See
Thank
ya.
you,
See you next
everyone.
time. See you next time.